Hi, Dad. I know it's been a while since you and I have had the opportunity to talk on the phone or even text for that matter. And so I do hope that this video finds you doing well, that your life is full of joy, and that you and Darla are experiencing good health. It's a cold day in Oregon. There's a lot of frost out there, but I imagine you're probably up to your ears in snow about now. Yeah. I hope that you're doing great, Dad. This video is to communicate a few things. One, I just wanted to briefly talk about my grandkids, your great grandkids, and then give you an update on Ricky. There's some stuff going on with him that I think it's important for you to know. And then thirdly, I wanted to share something with you that's been on my mind these last, probably the last 15 years, but probably more these last 5 years, and even maybe intensifying in the last year since Grandpa Rudy died, which I'll get to here in a little bit. And you're probably going, why a video? A video because I could write you a letter or text you or even a phone call, but I think that the difficulty for me in those types of communication is that you can't really see the person's face. So many times I've written an email or a letter to somebody and they thought the tone was sharp when it wasn't intended to be, or that maybe I was too blunt when I was trying to be gracious. And so I know that we can often read things in a way that maybe the person trying to communicate or convey those things didn't intend to. And so I wanted to make sure that what I share with you here is seen with the love and grace that I have in my heart for you. So anyway, I'll start with the grandkids. First of all, Oliver. Oliver is Elena and her husband Charlie's boy. Now, some might say that he's our step-grandchild. That is not at all how Charlene and I see it. That is our grandson. He's incredibly handsome. He's very smart, and he's very sensitive and kind-hearted. When Lane met Charlie, he had already had Oliver with him, and so it was a package deal. You take me, you take Oliver. And so we're glad that Oliver came with that package. We absolutely adore him. And then Lena and Charlie have a little girl. Her name is Evelyn. And as you can see, she is a stunner as well. Absolutely beautiful. So smart. She's incredibly sensitive. And it's also really incredible because she's got a sense of justice. If she sees somebody being treated poorly, she will rise up and speak against that. It's just an amazing thing to see the sensitivity and then the sense of justice working together like that. I get her and baby Rudy every Monday. I go and take him to a park or to the lake or to the zoo, or we just sit around here playing guys. I do that with them too because Oliver has school, but they're still 4. So I'm able to take them a little bit more, I have more freedom with them. And so I take advantage of it every Monday, and I love it. I look forward to it every week. It takes a lot out of me, but I absolutely love it. And then Rudy and Taylor, as I just mentioned, have a little boy named Rudy and a little girl named Raylyn. 2 very beautiful kids. I'll start with Rudy. As you can see, he is incredibly handsome. He's also very, very smart, this boy, man. Just this week, in fact, he was telling me, Grandpa, I know what 99 plus 102 is. I'm like, wow, that's kind of impressive. What is it? And it is whatever it is, 99 plus 100. I don't know. I can't even do that math in my head. I suck at math. But he knows what that is because I know what 99 plus 3 is. Just a smart kid. And Raylyn, his little sister, oh my gosh, she's stunning. Look at her blue eyes. Super pretty. And of course, she's just developing a personality right now at the age of 2. And what we know is that she knows what she wants, and she knows that she's cute, and she works that angle. She's beginning to talk quite a bit, but what a beautiful, sweet little girl. She's got her daddy wrapped around her finger, and me too. So anyway, that's just a little update on your great-grandkids. And now for stuff that's maybe not so fun to talk about. Ricky. Oh, Dad, he's just not doing good at all. The doctors have placed him, or they are recommending for him, hospice care, and gave him what they say is a couple of years to live. He's got this fungal infection behind his eye that they just can't get rid of. In order to get rid of it, they would have to remove part of his face, Dad. that bad. There's not very many hospitals that will do that procedure because, quite frankly, it doesn't even really guarantee that it would work. And so his eye is just really, it's just bad. And the weight of this, what amounts to a death sentence from the doctor, as you can imagine, it weighs heavy on his heart. But that's the reality that we're faced with now. I try to remain hopeful that in the name of Jesus, Ricky can get healed and get off the streets and get healthy. I'm hopeful. But what if? What if he's not? What if he's not able to get healed? We've tried to get him transferred from Sacramento up here. The parole board denied that, and so he's stuck down there till August. Which kind of leads to the third point that I wanted to share with you, Dad, which is very difficult. In fact, if you see some sharp edits in this video, it's because I'm probably circling back and re-recording this to make sure that I'm sharing with you what I've intended to, with the grace and the love that I want to. As I said, my mom's been spending a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of heartache trying to meet Ricky's needs. And Ricky, of course, is ever grateful to her and Chris for their sacrifices, because Chris is right there with it. My mom's sacrifices are Chris's sacrifices. So I love Chris for what he's done in that. And Ricky feels the weight of their love and their presence and their sacrifice. My concern, Dad, is he doesn't feel that from you. I know there's things between you and him that I probably don't even know about, but he feels it. There's bitterness, there's resentment, there's anger that must be reconciled in some way, in my opinion, before it's too late. I don't want you to have regrets at things that could have been said to Rick that are left unsaid, which is why I'm sharing what I am with you. I don't, now that I'm 49, man, I hate saying that, but I'm 49. Life is short, and I want to make sure that there's nothing left unsaid between me and the people who I love. And I love you, so I'm trying to share with you something that I think is really, really important for you to hear. This is something that I'm saying to you out of love, is that Ricky does not feel you present there in his life. You've been very much affirming to me, Dad, when we talk. Loving, you've spoken words of affirmation to me. You've asked for forgiveness in certain cases for the person who you were long ago, which you're not that guy anymore. You've made some incredible changes. I want to affirm you in that. You've made some great changes, Dad. You're not that angry, ticked off guy that you were. So I want to affirm you in that. And I felt that affirmation coming from you. Ricky has not. And it hurts him. And time is short. And so you can do what you will with that. But he's just a phone call away. He doesn't need a ton of money, but he could use some help. So I wanted you to hear that. And in the same way, kind of an absence that Ricky is experiencing, I want to convey to you that there's an absence that I've experienced. Phone calls are one thing and texts are good, but those do not make for a relationship, at least for a meaningful one. And you know, I'm 49. I'm grown. I have a Father in heaven who affirms me and loves me. So I'm not feeling a sense of loss or anything. I don't want to lay a trip on you, but I'm more concerned for you in, 25, 28 years from now, when you're in your 90s, looking back. I don't want you to look back on your life and say, man, I should have been there. I could have, but I wasn't. I don't want you to have those kind of regrets, Dad. This is, again, I'm lovingly telling you this in hopes that you can adjust accordingly and make a change. A lot can change in 25, 26 years between now and when you're in your 90s and before you leave this earth, to make some significant changes and be intentional in your pursuit of a relationship with the kids and the grandkids. To be intentional and to own that. I don't wait for my kids to come to me. They're sweet enough that they do pursue me. I love that about them. I'm having lunch with Rue today. We have lunch pretty much every week on Thursdays, but mean, they pursue me and I pursue them. I'm relentless. I'm annoying, probably. Because I don't just call them, I FaceTime them, and it's not always convenient, but I fight tenaciously for a connection with my kids and with my grandkids. It's so important to me. And so I put the responsibility on the parent, the grandparent, to take ownership and be tenacious in the pursuit of relationship with our kids and our grandkids. Because if we don't, unfortunately, what they will experience when it's your time to go is the same thing I experienced when Grandpa Rudy died, which this will sound very mean, and I don't really mean it to, because I'm not, Dad, I'm not a mean person. Well, I can be a jerk, okay, I can be mean, but in this case, I'm not trying to be mean. The truth is, when Grandpa Rudy died, I didn't feel anything. Not one emotion. Not even oh. Not even that, Dad. It's like, oh, wow. I hope my dad's okay. I hope my Aunt Mary's okay. My concern was for you guys and the pain that you might be experiencing, but as for me, Dad, it didn't feel sad to me. I didn't experience a sense of loss. There was no mourning over him. Not like there was with my grandma, Teresa. I have her photo right here. I wear a bracelet, as macabre as this might sound, with her ashes in it, because I want to have her with me. And I know it sounds crazy, but so much I love her. I adore my grandma. There was a mourning. We had 2 memorial services, one during stupid COVID we couldn't do a real memorial service, but man, I did my best to honor her and I love her. I mean, I get sensitive right now even thinking about her. I miss her. See, that's real to me. There was connection with my Grandma Teresa. I love her. She called me all the bloody time. So there wasn't that with Grandpa. And just last weekend, or last week, I think maybe a week and a half ago, Rudy and Elena's grandpa Don died. Dad, it was the same thing that they felt for their grandpa Don that I did for Grandpa Rudy. Rudy, to be honest, his response when he got the news about the Grandpa Don was, bummer. Actually, I don't think he said, bummer. It was just bummer, period. There's no sense of missing anything. Why? Because it was distance from San Jose to here. That he never came for a wedding, for the birth of a child, for Christmas, nothing. Significant moments in the lives of Elena and Rudy. Both of them getting married, all that. A graduation, none of it. And so they didn't mourn the loss. So maybe that's why I feel this message is so important now, after 20 years, maybe 15 years when I felt it, but I was like, okay, he's busy. But that song, Dad, the Cat's in the Cradle thing, you get busy. I don't have enough money. I'll tell you, Dad, I love you, and I say this with all due respect. There is nothing that would get between me and seeing my kids and my grandkids. There is nothing. If I had to freaking hijack a plane, if I had to hitchhike, if I had to take a bloody Greyhound bus, taking 3 days to get me from here to where I needed to go, I don't give a crap. I would do it. So maybe I'm saying that with more strength than I've been, saying things here in this video, but I just mean that because I feel so passionate about my kids and my grandkids that nothing would get between me and them. Nothing would keep me from them. Nothing. I would sell whatever the heck I had to sell to get a freaking bus ticket. That's just what I would do. And my mom's done that. She's proven, and her and Chris, with their finances and with their lives and their presence, that they're here. And what I'm getting at is that you're not, Dad. And it's 20 years, probably 20 years that we've seen you in the physical form. And maybe you have reasons, Dad, that I don't understand. And so I know life's complicated, but sometimes it's not so complicated. Sometimes the answers are very simple. So I've probably gone on longer than I intended. I love you, Dad. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad. I'm really not. And the kids are doing great. They are not lacking anything. They are loved. So are my grandkids, your great grandkids. They are not lacking anything. This is for you, Dad. I want you, when you're at that moment of leaving this earth to move on to the other side, I don't want you to look back with regret, because you don't have to. Sure, none of us are going to do things perfectly. And sure, even I'm sure when it's my time to go, I'll look back and go, dang, I didn't do all that great. I missed that opportunity. I'm like, sure, I don't do everything perfectly. Lord have mercy. I tell the kids what I want them to say is, hey, look, my daddy wasn't perfect, but he sure as hell let us know that he wasn't perfect. And we saw him aspiring to change, and we saw him make great strides in removing certain destructive behaviors that were handed down to him. And man, that's the best we can ask for, I think. Oh, Dad. So I love you, and hope that you'll allow this video to kind of rest on you for a little bit before we talk. I'm not at all afraid of difficult conversations at all. I think I've just been afraid of hurting your feelings. But it's more important for you to have heard what I had to share. And I hope that you hear it again with the heart and the love that I intended to share it with you. All right, Dad? I love you. Bye.